So one of the things that a lot of you guys say you like most about CrossFit is that we never do the same thing twice. And there's actually a reason for that other than to prevent boredom and to keep you guys coming back. But CrossFit, some of the methodology behind it is really based on having constantly varied functional movements. What this means is obviously having a lot of variety in what we do. And then functional movements is referencing movements that we do in our everyday life, squatting down to pick something off the floor, carrying a child, lifting something overhead. So CrossFit wants to make sure that their athletes are pretty much prepared for anything that comes their way, emergencies that come up, or just everyday living with groceries, children, or at work. So the movements that get prescribed in our workouts are basically movements that we would use outside of the gym, and they're constantly varied. They're always different. So one of the things that CrossFit likes to say when you start learning their methodology is that, take an Olympic weightlifter who's great at what they do, that they're probably the best in their field, or you take a marathon runner, and you're not going to outrun a marathon runner. CrossFitter won't do that, and neither would the Olympic weightlifter. But if you went ahead and you crossed their skill sets, and you asked an Olympic weightlifter to run a marathon, or vice versa, the marathoner to lift the weights, they would have a much harder time at it than asking a CrossFitter to necessarily do the same things. So a CrossFitter would have more, on average, the ability to do all of the different things that would be asked of them as an athlete. There's something called the hopper model or effect, where if you put everything you could think of, every movement, every athletic movement, into a hopper per se, and you mixed it up really good and pulled one out, a CrossFitter would have the best chance and the best ability to perform that movement, whatever it was, to the best of its ability, because they've been trained to be prepared and ready for anything that's thrown at them. That's kind of why at the games they have some kind of really off-the-wall competitions and things that they come up with. They kind of pride themselves on being different, because their athletes, they really feel, are ready for anything that's thrown at them. So that's one reason why there's a lot of variety in CrossFit. It's not just to keep you coming back and keep you from being bored, although that's a positive byproduct of it. But there is methods to the madness, per se. So hope that helps.